Welcome to College Counseling on Demand, featuring the College Visit Part 1. This video focuses on the preparation and planning leading up to a college visit. We'll be covering the following topics: why visiting is important, when to visit, and planning the visit. First, we like to say that there's really no substitute for a campus visit when it comes to deciding which college to attend. Choosing your college is a very subjective experience, and every student needs to determine for themselves the right fit based on their academic, social, and financial needs and wants. And of course, it's one of the most enjoyable parts of the college search and decision experience. Why visit? One of the most valuable benefits of a college visit is to get a feel for the campus, that is, determining fit. A visit enables you to visualize yourself as a student with the greatest amount of certainty. Through a visit, you'll learn about the culture and ethos of an institution in a way that's not as easily determined by conducting research online or even through meetings with your college counselor or conversations with alumni. Sometimes fit can be as simple as an instinctive vibe that you feel when touring a school. The fact is, you won't know until you go. A college visit helps students narrow their search by eliminating colleges that do not feel like a good fit for one reason or another. When beginning the search, many students don't know what they're looking for, but can more easily identify what they don't like, and that knowledge can be just as valuable in determining what appeals to you. Finally, some colleges consider demonstrated interest as a factor in admissions. Visiting a campus demonstrates a level of interest and commitment of time and finances that some schools value and take into consideration when determining admissions. The best way to know whether a school values demonstrated interest is by asking the admissions office directly. When to visit? Ideally, we recommend visiting colleges when students are on campus, which will provide the most realistic sense of campus life and allow you to see for yourself what the students are like. You want to be able to visualize yourself on campus, get a feel for the vibe, and whether you can imagine spending your college years as part of the community. Interacting with current students, or even just watching them behave on campus, will give you the best opportunity to learn what it's like to be a student at that school. It's also valuable to visit campuses during different seasons. For students who are not accustomed to snow and cold weather, it can be eye-opening to conduct visits during the wintertime when the climate is very different from what you're familiar with. Summertime and winter breaks can be convenient times to visit because students don't have to worry about missing class and making up assignments. In recent years, more and more colleges have launched pre-collegiate summer programs, which means that campuses aren't empty of students. You'll still be able to experience a vibrant campus, albeit on a smaller scale. If your family is planning a vacation and you have time, consider combining vacation time with college visits, especially if you're visiting part of the country you may not easily return to. Even just an informal self-guided tour or drive-by can offer insights into the location, appearance, and layout of the campus. Many colleges will offer links on their admissions websites to a self-guided tour brochure and walking map of campus, making it easy to navigate on your own. Also, don't forget about 3-day weekends for quick trips to states nearby. The sooner you begin your visits, the more information you can begin to gather about the many options that exist. Ultimately, we want our students to be informed consumers and have conducted extensive research when deciding on the colleges to apply to and ultimately attend. As a freshman, it can be worthwhile to visit colleges as a way to incentivize or motivate students to think about their futures, formulate goals, and plan the road ahead. Sometimes just going on a campus tour of the nearest college, regardless of interest, can help students determine what they should look for in other schools. Visiting colleges in your own backyard can be worthwhile because they're easily accessible and cost-effective. As a freshman, your student has time to consider the many options that exist. The stakes aren't as high, and there's less pressure to figure out what they want. Parents should encourage students to keep an open mind in these beginning stages and be sensitive to not put too much pressure on their students as they're just starting the search. Sophomore year is a time to branch out beyond your in-state and/or local options and consider visiting colleges that are 2 to 4 hours away to give yourself a broader range of colleges to evaluate and learn about. If possible, map out your trip by researching travel times between schools, and if there's another college in the area that you're not familiar with, consider visiting that campus as well. You might be surprised at what you find. Students should expand their visits to include colleges that vary in size, location, and selectivity. As with freshman year, sophomore year is typically not as busy or stressful as junior and senior years, so take advantage of this time. Junior year is a time to conduct more in-depth research about colleges of interest and visit colleges that are further away from home. It's when students should be thinking more purposefully about what qualities matter most to them in a college, reflecting more seriously on their visits, and putting more time and thought into the application process. When planning the visit, if students know what they want to study, they could reach out to a professor in a particular department to make a separate appointment. Or if they want to play a sport, schedule a meeting with a coach. Or if parents have questions about affordability, schedule a meeting with financial aid. Or for students with accommodations, schedule a meeting with academic support. These are just a few examples of how students can customize their visits based on their specialized needs and interests. Senior year is a time to finalize your list and make your enrollment decision. Many seniors submit applications in the fall, so we encourage students to have a well-researched list created by the start of senior year. For seniors, visiting a college can lead to personal experiences interactions, which can strengthen a student's narrative when answering supplemental essays that ask why a student is interested in that specific college. Fall of senior year is an ideal time to schedule an interview with admissions offices if they are available, since interviews can help breathe life into an application. Keep in mind, however, that not all colleges offer interviews, and you should not feel at a disadvantage if you cannot schedule one. Ultimately, students become more astute observers and more discriminating consumers with time and practice. You'll start figuring out what you're looking for, the questions to ask, and what aspects of a visit are most important to you in crafting your list. Start visiting colleges early and you'll feel less stressed and more informed later on. How to schedule a visit. How do you schedule a visit? Sessions can fill up quickly, especially for visits in California. So you'll want to register for your visit before making your airline reservations to make sure you have a spot on the tour. All colleges have websites, and your first step in scheduling a visit is to go directly to that college's website and locate their undergraduate admissions page. Then go to the link or page for visiting campus. Many colleges will offer a calendar where you can click on your preferred day to see the available options. We recommend scheduling both a campus tour and an information session. An information session is a 30 to 60-minute overview of the institution. It typically includes information about admissions and financial aid, which you may not hear on the tour. Once you register for the visit, you will receive an email confirmation that you should print for your records. For advice about how to maximize your visit and advice for after your visit, we encourage you to watch the College Visit Part 2. Thank you.